the SighSquadPodcast. I'm Duncan.
I'm Noah.
I'm Brendan.
Yeah.
And I'm
Woo!
We're back for another edition of the SighSquadPodcast.
Quarantine can't stop us.
So we'll start off with some really bad sport kind of stuff going on. So the NBA and ESPN came up with a horse competition, which sounded really, really cool.
And they're probably not going to do this next year because they're obviously only doing it this year for obvious reasons, but
Right? I don't know. You can tell it was kind of just makeshift put together because, like, Tamika Catchings, Trae Young, they didn't even have, like, actual course. They just had, like, hoops in their driveway. But
yeah, which kind of makes horse fun, but it's like to make it, I don't know. Like you said, Duncan, it seemed like a great idea on paper. It just could have been executed a lot better. Like, it's tough when, like, not everyone has to stay home and they have to deal with what they've got. But it's just, like, at the same time, it's just, like, I don't know. The logistics, I feel like, could have been better. Like, Mike Conley found a gym, so I don't know why all the other players couldn't.
That actually was his own home gym inside with his house.
Oh, my. Okay,
right?
I forgot NBA players are rich. My fault. I forgot about that. Holy crap.
Yeah, why can't they all just be, Mike Conley rich, though? Jeez.
Right.
Probably.
Or, like, Paul Pierce's, his was, like, a half court. I guess because that's what he'd use.
Right.
But, like, he had a bowling alley and all sorts of different things inside of his house and everything. Because they went on a little tour of their houses, like, MTV Cribs pull up to 2K Horse. It was weird.
Oh, that's bizarre.
But yeah, I thought it was. I watched it because there's nothing else on, but it was really, really recording on iPhones and shakiness and bad internet connections and all that wasn't necessarily the way they should have gone. I don't think.
Clearly not even good iPhones because, like I said, the quality was terrible. It looked like they were filmed on a Galaxy, a Samsung, or a Android on a legit actual toaster. It was not executed. And which is a bummer because I've watched it for a little bit and I actually kind of just turned it off because I was just like, I'm bored.
I had it on the background as I was doing other things.
Oh, right, so you had it more for background noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As terrible as it was, I am excited for Chicago v. Chicago. Not gonna lie, I think that's pretty cool.
Brendan, name one player not named what's her name? That's in the tournament. That's in the Quigley. What's her first name?
Allie.
Allie Quigley. Name one person on Chicago Sky not named Allie Quigley. Go. Ouch.
Oof. Hey, did you see something more? Tamika Moore from the WNBA is the first ever women's head coach of a male basketball team in college.
I did. Remind me what college because she's like going to be is she going to be an assistant coach or is it like an actual head coaching job?
Head coaching job. She's the first one to.
Oh, dang. I must have heard something else then. But what college is she going to? Like, what college is she coaching at? Tamara Moore. Okay. Let's see. 1 second. Becomes head coach of Minnesota. Former WNBA player Tamara Moore becomes head coach of Minnesota men's college basketball team.
There you go. Yeah.
Moore was recently. Oh, I know where this is too. Moore was recently hired as the men's basketball coach at Mesabi Range College.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
She's currently a girls' high school coach in Minneapolis. Heck yeah. Way to represent.
Way to go.
Proud that Minnesota made the leap to do that. Proud that my state did that. That's awesome. I actually think that's really cool. And I also hope Becky Hammond's her name, right? The assistant coach for the Spurs. She probably won't be because Tim Duncan kind of took over, but I really hope she kind of gets consideration for the next head coaching job because I think she's a damn good coach. Like, I can't even deny at this point. But, giving it to Tim Duncan is for obvious reasons and, whatever. But, yeah, maybe the Bulls should hire as the new coach.
I was just going to say that. We're hopefully going to get the GM from Denver, adding that new coach in the mix. We get to then keep Laurie marketed. Like,
yeah, true. Bring back Tom Thibodeau.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, probably not gonna happen.
Which is okay, for the sake of the Bulls.
But with the NBA having their horse competition, do you think that they're gonna people are gonna try to do more things? And do you think the NBA season will restart in the playoffs? Do you think they're just gonna scrap the season?
Oh, see, I'm trying to be optimistic, obviously, about it. And I want to say that they're going to, but I just feel like there's so many more questions than answers still at this point. And I do think they're going to do their absolute best to try and get the season back. Now, with that being said, I don't think they can jump right into the playoffs, because in the NBA playoffs, there's more physicality. Refs swallow their whistles a little bit more. It's more aggressive basketball. And if you just jump into that, we're going to see some serious injuries. Not just like, oh, I twisted my ankle, or, there could be some serious injuries. And I don't think anybody is going to be immune to this. Not even like LeBron, Kawhi. They could get seriously hurt if they just jump right into the playoffs and get to this physical, thing of basketball. And as a fan, I don't want to see it, because I don't think the quality will be that great to start out for at least the first couple rounds. And, you can say the first couple rounds doesn't usually matter anyway, because usually it's, the good teams will separate from the bad teams. But it's like those close playoff matchups, like the 4, versus 5 or 3 and 6, where, I just want to see quality basketball being played. I want to see all these good athletes in their top, in their best condition. So I just want to see good quality basketball, and just for the sake and health of the players, so we get a fair playoff feel, because I think that's what we deserve. Because this NBA season has been so unpredictable and so great, it'd just be a shame if it just ended, in a bad way because one of the team's top players was hurt.
I think it's definitely going to depend on how much longer everything gets drawn out. Like right now, we're looking at midsummer. So
I think we need to see in May. We need to see a lot of cases going down and a lot of people getting better.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I mean, I know the NHL said they'll probably try and Brendan, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Gary Bettman said they would probably have to jump in straight into the playoffs?
Yeah, because the playoffs would have actually been starting on the day that this podcast gets released for the NHL. Yeah, which is my birthday. It always starts on my birthday. It's great. It's one of the reasons why hockey's my favorite sport. But with everything, hockey again would have to start in the playoffs, but there's a bunch of talks where they might have to just scrap the season also.
Oh, that'd be really upsetting. For my own bias sake, I kind of hope they play a couple games, because Minnesota's only 1 point out of a playoff spot, but they got to do what they got to do. Yeah, and I know MLS, what they're talking about doing is if they continue the season, which they're looking to do so, they're gonna play like a bunch of neutral site games and stuff, like probably like in Florida or LA and like those nicer stadiums. Probably do it behind closed doors to start out, and then as it progresses, the cases get better, eventually let fans back in. But they're thinking about doing neutral site stuff, which at this point I'm okay with whatever. If I can't go to a game this year, if I can't go to a Minnesota United game this year, at this point, so be it. This is only temporary. Like, if they have to start the playoffs with no fans, it's going to suck. It's going to feel weird. But I think they just need to do it. Like, this is only temporary. Players and fans need to realize it's going to suck. But I would just rather have them play sports, have a season, than just to have fans, be deprived of it for a playoff or a season, because it's gonna be what it's gonna have to be, And
that's kind of what the MLB is doing. They're looking into playing games in like neutral spots in Arizona.
Yeah, and now they're talking about having games. They're talking about like doing like what is it? Because they have grapefruit and cactus league. Like I'm sure you guys saw the division realignment they would do.
Yeah,
Talking about doing it in Florida and Arizona, which, I mean, I don't know how that's going to work out. I know there's a lot of logistics behind it that they need to work out and all that stuff. I don't know how that's going to work with the MLB, but at this point, I mean, they just kind of got to do. If they can figure out the logistics to do it, then I'd say go for it, obviously.
Right.
But
so the reason that they're choosing the states that they're choosing is because Arizona, Florida, and then I think there's two others, North Dakota, and then one or two other states, actually said that professional sports are essential to their economy, and so they'd allow, like, that's why you see WWE being allowed to continue sporting events and stuff like that.
Which I joked about it because I was like, oh, damn, don't give Vince McMahon that hot head that WWE is essential. But, I mean, it is. And I think, with the economy crashing the way it is, I know Donald Trump met with every American sports league commissioner.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, he even talked with Dana White, WNBA commissioner. He talked with everyone. So, and like they all said, like Adam Silver said, that sports can be such a good way to build the economy. And it's why I like sports so much. It's just because sports can always just be the light and darkness and all that. So, like, if it takes sports to just, bring this country back to what it was, or, back on its feet, and I think that's awesome. And that's just kind of what I want to see. Like, I just want sports to be played because sports can just reunite everything, and it can just, clear everything up, and it can make things better. So that's just kind of what I just want to see. I just want things to get back to normal. And I think the first step to doing so is to see actual live sports being played.
Right. One thing with the NFL draft, might as well get into it. With the NFL draft, they are doing it all virtual, but they're going to have like 10 to 15 fans like Skype in or Zoom in for their team's pick. So like the Bengals are going to have 15 people. I don't know how they're going to select these people, if it's just going to be random or what, because if it's on live TV, something could go wrong. But they're going to have like 15 fans virtually react to the pick, like with the first pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. The Cincinnati Bengals select Joe Burrow, blah, 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 blah. And then they're going to go to those fans. They're going to go to Joe Burrow, obviously, but then they're also going to go to a couple fans. They're like, oh my God, that was such a good pick. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah,
just to kind of keep it like that.
Right. And one thing I think would be kind of cool too is, again, these are logistical things I just don't know about, but they bring in like 5 Cincinnati fans. Like every pick, they bring in 5 Skype, people of, that respective fan base. So it just seems bigger, and then obviously Madden's doing that cool thing where they're gonna, actually like show the commissioner like with the jersey and stuff, like, in Madden stuff, which would be cool because then they might bring that into Madden 21. But, I don't know. At this point, I'm just okay. I'm okay with it, obviously. I think it'll be just fine. Everyone's kind of saying how it could get hacked, or, there's jokes about, Bill Belichick just sitting there just like, all right, how can we hack this NFL draft? But I think it's going to go good. I think Roger Goodell, as much crap as I give him, he knows. I think he's going to know how to approach this. I think this is going to be fine.
Right. I don't think he's going to half-ass it like the NBA and ESPN did with their competitions.
Yeah, I do not either. I think Roger Goodell, once this whole thing started, I think he has thought about it. I think he is prepared as best he can for it, and they still have over a week to prepare for it. So I think it'll be fine. I think it'll go great, and I'm just excited for the draft because this is going to be a really good draft, I think. And I just would hate to see it, I would have hated to see it get delayed or just kind of like canceled for the time being. But at this point, they just got to do what they got to do. So
right, but on the like coaches and stuff, the NFL team side of it and the player side of it, if you think about it, these people who didn't get drafted, like 3rd, 4th rounders who didn't get to go to the combine, might not have necessarily gotten a pro day, might not have gotten to show off what they can because of this whole pandemic. And so they won't necessarily get the chance that they should like get. So a 3rd round talent could drop to like the 6th or 7th round just based on not knowing who he is,
Yeah, for sure. And that's the credit part, because obviously we've seen like these top prospects like do a virtual pro day and stuff, but it's a lot different to have an actual an actual scout there watching you, doing your pro day. It's a good thing that they were able to get the combine in. Like, it's a good thing the combine happened before this whole thing happened. So they at least have something. They have something going there. They have some film to look at. But yeah, it's just going to be reliant on trusting your gut and the combine, basically, which is what a lot of scouts and GMs and stuff do anyway. But sometimes it's just nice to see that pro day and stuff, and for some players that we've talked about this before in past podcasts, Joe Burrow and Chase Young don't need to do a pro day. They're the top 2 picks regardless. Like Jeff Okudah or like Isaiah Simmons, they don't need to do a pro day. Like, they're bona fide top 5 picks. But like players like Tua Tagovailoa, or you can say he's a top 5 pick guaranteed, but there's obviously those injury concerns and stuff. So I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting with like those lower, especially like with how deep this wide receiver class is. It's going to be interesting once we get outside that top, because I think the top 4 receivers are pretty obvious. It's Judy, Lamb, Ruggs, and then probably Justin Jefferson. But then there's like that 5th guy who, you have a toss up with like Higgins, Denzel Mims, and then you have players like Brandon Ayuk and Tyler Johnson from Minnesota, who they don't know what their status is going to be, whether because they've been tossed up between going first day or between the 3rd round. They're just not going to get that for sure answer, after not having a pro day.
I think teams, though, are going to be really looking at college tape then as the main. So I think some of these players who have had really good college tape and maybe didn't necessarily have a good combine or wouldn't have had a good pro day. I think college tape and college production is going to be really important in this draft.
But for sure. And if anything, you could almost argue that not having a pro day almost helps some players' causes because, like, Ben said, you can literally be a top prospect, but if you have a bad pro day, like, your stock can drop. Like, that's, like, if Joe Burrow would have had a bad combine, there would have been a toss-up between him and Chase Young being the first overall pick, or maybe throwing in Justin Herbert. Like, that would have been a legit thing. But, I mean, maybe a bad example because Joe Burrow's obviously really good. He probably would have been the first pick anyway. But, like, there's players who, like Laviska Shenault or I'm trying to think who else had a bad combine, who disappointed the combine. I had a list of it, but I don't have it pulled up right now, who hurt their cause just because they had a bad pro day, or a bad combine. So it's, like I said, college film is going to be, if you're productive in college and you put up a good film, then it's just, they're just going to have to rely on that and hope that they just make the right decision. But
yeah, I definitely think there's going to be a lot of success stories that you wouldn't necessarily think about. Like, there's random guy from some Division II or some lower division college where you don't necessarily see him. And all of a sudden he gets drafted, and they're like, who the hell's that guy? Why is he getting drafted in the 3rd round compared to and then there's somebody you might know about who didn't necessarily produce as much in college, didn't get his name out there, who drops to the 7th round, and you're like, but why did he do that? Well, how is he getting drafted over blank, blank, or blank? Because people don't see it, so they don't know necessarily. And I think that could cause a lot of the picks to fluctuate, where if you're getting drafted in the 3rd round versus the 4th round, it might not matter as much this year as it would in previous years, because the team might not necessarily know exactly what you got versus what the next guy got. And as long as you're getting drafted, whatever this year, I think.
Right. Yeah, and certainly as a fan, as a consumer, this is going to make the draft very interesting too, because like you guys are talking about, there's just going to be so many toss-ups and just not for sure things to where we could see some big surprises in the draft. And I know that's why I always enjoy the draft, is to see the big surprises and stuff. So yeah. I'm just super excited for the draft. I am just hyped up about it. On my new podcast, I'm actually gonna do a live, I'm gonna do a reaction show to it, just because the draft is just so exciting and it's a day of hope. It's like a whole franchise, and this is the reason why I think they needed to do it. Is it's just the day of hope where a team's future can change, and all the stuff that's going on now, it's just a sign of okay, things are slowly gonna get back. For a day or two, we can forget about everything. Talk about the draft, talk about NFL, and just get excited for that football season where hopefully things are back to normal by then.
Right.
Speaking of draft, Do you guys want to go into our prospects?
Sure. You want to go first?
Sure, I'll do one of mine first. So one of my prospects is Denzel Mims, and I know Noah just mentioned him. Most people are considering him to be either the fifth or the sixth wide receiver. And most people boards, Ruggs, CeeDee Lamb, and Jerry Jeudy are the top three. Justin Jefferson is usually four, and then it's either Denzel Mims or T Higgins at five. So Denzel Mims is a 4-year wide receiver out of Baylor. He is 6'3", 206 pounds. And I think I've been doing a lot of research and I've been watching his play. One thing that people really like about him is how physical he is, his physicality. I know I was reading one article that compared him to Mike Evans just because of how big he is and how good he is at using his body to catch the ball. And obviously he had a great combine. He ran really fast. He had his last year of college, he had over 12 touchdowns, over 1,100 yards. I think he is going to be the fifth wide receiver off the board. I'm thinking just Jefferson's going to go off in the middle of the first round, and I think Denzel Mims is going to be end of the first round kind of guy. Some of the teams I'm maybe thinking for him, maybe the Packers at 30, the Vikings there, or the Saints at the end of that first round could be potential fifths for him.
And I'll throw this out with Denzel Mims just because I've been doing a lot of film just for my prospects and stuff, just for my two podcasts and stuff. Denzel Mims had a really good combine. He helped his stock a lot. He was kind of a flip flop between going first round. Now people are saying he's a guarantee to go first round. And the more those good receivers get taken, those top 5 guys or even 5 or 6, he's going to go to a team that's going to be not. I hate to say the word desperate because that makes Denzel Mims seem like not a good prospect. But there's going to be a team well, shoot, we need a wide receiver. So Denzel Mims will just fall right into their laps. And he's a very underrated prospect with a class of really good receivers.
And I think so too. And actually, when I first started doing my prospects, I had Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State. And after doing more research, I really like Denzel Mims. And I know it's a little biased, but I really hope the Packers draft him at 30. I hope he's still there.
Yeah.
Does somebody else want to do their first one?
I can go next for my first prospect. So I'm taking a completely different approach to this. Usually I try and do, we try and do under the radar prospects, I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna let everyone know why Chase Young is a one, because I'm super high on Chase Young. I personally think he's the best prospect in this entire draft. Probably one of the best prospects in the last 5 years. Chase Young is a once-in-a-generational talent. Obviously, he's a fantastic pass rusher, but what makes him great about a defensive end is he is a phenomenal run stopper. And you don't hear that a lot with defensive ends. Obviously, they're all known as pass rushers. Chase Young was actually, I believe he was third in the team in tackles, and that's including tackles for loss. That's not even just including sacks. So he is a force to be reckoned with. Obviously he's strong, he's fast, he's athletic. The perfect mold for a defensive end, and there's not a lot of flaws in his game. The only flaws that I would probably use in his game is sometimes, in NFL you talk about just kind of the little details. His would probably be pad level, because there are times where he gets caught, going up too high on a pass rush or all that stuff. But that's because he was just so dominant in college that there was times where he could get away with that. But in the NFL, he's going to get coached up on that, lowering the pad level, finding different ways to get through a pass protection. Other than that, there's not a lot of flaws in his game. I personally think he's the top prospect in the draft. He's probably going to go number 2 to Washington. He will go number 2 to Washington. I think the Redskins are crazy if they do anything other than Chase Young. Put him with Ron Rivera, that's going to be prime. And Washington has talent on defense. Washington has talent on that team. They really, really do. And then getting Chase Young, that's going to elevate everyone on that defense. I really like Chase Young. He's going to be a freak in nature, and he's going to be I think in less than 3 years, he's going to be a top 5 defensive end in football. That is a bold proclamation, but it's a proclamation I will stand by. I think he has the potential to be better than both the Bosa brothers.
But Noah, he's going to go number 1 to the Bengals, right? If you look in our archives for last week.
True. According to our mock draft, the Bengals are going to shock the world, even though that's my thing about the Bengals. The Bengals literally can't go wrong with their first overall pick.
Right, like they're in the best spot. I think anybody in a lot of drafts have been in, like, they could choose whoever they want, and you could make a justification for it.
Yeah. So, yeah, Chase
right.
Young, a beast.
Nice. I'll go next here. And you're talking about Denzel Mims earlier. I'm going to be talking about Justin Jefferson. So, as you guys said, he's probably number 4, number 5 right there. He's right in the mid, I think in the mid to late first round. He's probably known most for being on LSU with Joe Burrow. He's regarded as one of the top 5 receivers in college football last season, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to change to make him like a top 5 in the NFL draft or in the NFL. I think has a lot of really good things about him, but there are things like his route running that he can improve on. Overall, I think he's really good. He, as you know, his stats were really, really elevated because of having Joe Burrow. 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns, 111 receptions. But I think that him going to, depending on which team he goes to, I see him as like that mid-upper level tier receiver in a couple of years, like maybe like Julian Edelman or Danny Amendola type of player, where he's not necessarily the top. He's the top guy on the team, but he's not the top guy in like the league. Like he's kind of mid-tier. And the places I expect him to go, I either expect him to go to the Eagles, the Raiders, the Packers, or depending on if he drops to the Broncos or one of those teams like the Cardinals or somebody who has those picks, depending on, but it really all depends on where wide receivers are getting drafted, because I don't see him going over CD or over Ruggs or stuff. I think he's definitely that mid-level receiver to go in the late first round, but I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if all of a sudden pick number 11, the receivers are off the board, and all of a sudden they just go with Jefferson because he's there and somebody else isn't. You know?
Yeah.
I really like Jefferson. I think what stood out to me is just his production last year, 1,500 yards, 111 catches. I think he's going to be a really good catch-all slot guy, somebody who can take it and go. And I agree with you. I think he's going to be a mid to late first-round pick.
Yeah, I would agree. Justin Jefferson is probably the second best route runner in this class, behind only Jerry Jeudy, who is probably obviously the best wide receiver in the class. And she's just got great size. So like if he gets a quarterback like Carson Wentz, like he's going to get his touches and he's going to be that guy that they need to go get that 50-50 ball or to just, put it somewhere in his direction. He's going to find a way to catch it.
I'll go next. All right. My second prospect is going to be the draft steal of 2020. That is my prediction. Patrick Queen is a linebacker from LSU, and I think he's really interesting because in this draft, I've seen so many mock drafts, and I've seen so many different scenarios where some people don't even have him going in the first round. There's so much great talent in this draft. He might fall for the second round, and I truly believe this guy's going to be a day one starter at linebacker. His last season at LSU, he didn't have a lot of tackles, but he's a really good coverage guy, and he's a really good interior middle linebacker. I think he could go to any team that could either use a run stopper or a coverage guy, and I really think he can do it all. I think whatever team lands him, whether it be middle of the first round, I've seen mock drafts as high as him going pick 15 for the Broncos, or if he falls to the middle of the second round, I think he's going to be a draft steal.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about teams that need a run-stopping linebacker. I mean, I know your team fits the build. I know Packers could use a good linebacker. Yeah. He may not have to go too far. He could go to New Orleans. I mean, New Orleans needs another linebacker. He may stay right in his backyard, staying in New Orleans.
I've seen a lot of talk about him going to the Saints. Apparently, that's somewhere he would want to go, and again, it's right in his backyard. I think that'd be the best fit for him. And I think the Saints with Patrick Queen just got a little bit better.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, I even think of the Packers. even got him too. Because I mean, Packers need a linebacker too. So if they can fall to him, in the second round, because where are the Packers? Where do the Packers like sit for second round pick? Like, do they have just one or two
We
or?
just have one, and it's towards the end of the second round.
Okay, but by
just-
that point, not a lot of players, not a lot of teams might not need a linebacker.
Yeah, and with this draft being so quarterback heavy, wide receiver heavy, and offensive line heavy, he's somebody who could just slip through the cracks. And I think if somebody can grab him in the second round, he is going to be the draft steal of the 2020.
I'll have to keep an eye out.
Patrick Queen.
Patrick Queen. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out. Am I next?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. So I am just gonna tell everyone why Joe Burrow, because there's been a lot. I mean, obviously he's the undisputed number 1 overall pick, but I know there's a lot of concerns about Joe Burrow, or like not concerns, but like if Cincinnati's the right fit. Everyone's talking about his hand size and all that stuff, how he does things good, not great. I've gone back for about this a lot with Joe Burrow and Chase Young. So Joe Burrow, everyone says how he's going to go to Cincinnati and it's just going to be a bad fit. I think it's going to be a great fit for, not a great fit, but I think it'll be a good fit for Joe Burrow. He's going to get a really, smart offensive coach in Zach Taylor, who's going to fall under that Sean McVay coaching tree. He knows a thing or two. Cincinnati improved in a lot of statistical categories on offense. Joe Burrow, I mean, you saw what he did at LSU. He's insane. He has a good deep ball, not a great deep ball. But he's accurate, but not the most accurate at times. Like he does, in terms of throwing the ball, he's good, not great. But one thing that I think is going to separate him from the pack is first off, is a tough son of a gun. He's going to step into the pocket. He's going to make throws. He's going to maybe throw a few interceptions in his first couple of years because he's just that kind of guy where he's just going to go for it, which I'm okay with. That's one thing that I really wish Aaron Rodgers would do more. Like he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't just make those big time, like when I say big time, like sometimes it's like, I'm just going to go for it, hope it gets to him. I know like even like Drew Brees, I wish he would do that more. Joe Burrow is going to be that guy. He's not scared of anything that comes his way. His pocket awareness is unbelievable. Unbelievable what his pocket awareness is. He is aware of where everyone is on the field while still keeping his eyes downfield. He can move around the pocket. He's going to be like a Patrick Mahomes in terms of like he's not going to like necessarily run with the football, but he is crafty and shifty enough to where he can move outside the pocket. He's really great at throwing. He's great at throwing on the run. That is one thing he's great at. That's going to do him great diligence playing for Cincinnati behind such a bad offensive line. But Jonah Williams, their first-round pick from last year, was injured. He'll come back this year, and presumably that'll just make the offensive line better. And the Bengals get the first pick in the second round. They're going to go tackle in that pick as well, I would assume. So I think Joe Burrow, everything has to fall good, perfect for him to be successful. Like I think he isn't going to be a guy like Carson Wentz where he has to be outstanding for the team to be good. Like he doesn't have to be he can't be the whole team. But I think when he goes to Cincinnati, like he's gonna get AJ Green, he's gonna get Joe Mixon, who's a good pass catching running back. He's gonna get John Ross. He's gonna get Tyler Boyd. He's gonna get a really good receiving core. Offensive line again is gonna be shaky. But I think with Joe Burrow, he just brings that winner mentality. And I think with great receivers, all those flaws that he may have in the throwing game are gonna be figured out because so he's a little inaccurate on the deep ball. Okay, so it's a 50-50 ball. AJ Green's going to go up and get it. Oh, his deep ball isn't that great. Okay, throw a short pass to John Ross and let him cut up field because he has breakaway speed. Those are, and not to say he's bad at those things. He's obviously an insanely good thrower of the football. But I just think Joe Burrow, everything is being underplayed of how he's going to be in Cincinnati. I think he's what that franchise needs. Obviously, he's an Ohio kid. I think it's going to be really good for Cincinnati. I think it's a step in the right direction for what they're going to do, especially with Cincinnati not being a great free agent destination. If they can make those improvements, it's going to be good. The only thing I have an issue of it, too, is he's going to go in a division with insanely good defenses like Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. So that's going to be not exactly a good time, but he's going to have rookie, things. I think there's a lot of things raw in his game, but I think he's going to be a really good quarterback in this league. I think eventually he'll fall in that top. He'll never be a top 5 quarterback, but he'll fall in that top 10 category at some point in his career, I think.
I'm hyped for Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. Even like, yeah, that's gonna be, yeah, those are gonna be the two quarterbacks that are gonna lead the AFC. Like those two could have just a great feud. Obviously, they're gonna play each other twice a year, but when it all comes down to it, who knows what Deshaun Watson's? He may not even be in uh Houston next year. So who knows where he's gonna go? So and then obviously with Patrick Mahomes, it's gonna be a lot like there's so much quarterback talent in the NFL right now. It's awesome because it creates such great parity for the NFL, which is why it makes it such a great sport. It's the league of hope. And if Joe Burrow is better than what people expect, Cincinnati's going to find themselves in the playoff hunt, and then they're going to find themselves in great position to be good in the future.
But he's not going to the Bengals. As predicted, He's going to the Chargers. It's in our mock draft.
Oh my God, if he went to the Chargers, that'd be ridiculous.
It'd be amazing.
If Joe Burrow went to the Chargers win that division.
Heck, I think the Chargers win the Super Bowl, though.
They put them. Yeah, I think they have a good chance. They have a really good chance if the Chargers were to get Joe Burrow. I think they would have an insanely good chance to win the Super Bowl.
You never know what could happen.
True.
We're in a unique time in history where,
right,
we're even the craziest stuff.
Crazy. Things just might happen.
Okay. Well, I'm next here. I chose defensive tackle out of Auburn, Derek Brown. He is a beast of a player. He's amazing. I think he's gonna be definitely one of the top people in the draft to go. He's not gonna be number 1, 2, or 3, obviously, but I could see him going 5 through. I'd be surprised if he makes it past the middle of the first round, honestly. But you never know with the way this draft is going. Exactly. But so he's out of Auburn here. He had 33 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He's just a very aggressive player. He was the unanimous All-American, all SEC first team. He was the defensive player of the year. So he was really just an impact all over. He also won some like leadership awards outside of football. So he's more than just a football player, which some of these guys, you just look at them, like Joe Burrow has personality. And I think that's something that you need kind of with the way football's going at the moment. There's a lot of people with personality, and he definitely has a personality that I think will elevate his team in the game. So he's fast, he's strong, and he's a big guy. And not all big guys have all 3 of those. And so I think he is definitely a unique player that's going to be really, really fun to see play. And I think that he will he'll be a great player anywhere he goes, but I see him going either to the Panthers, the Jags, or the Cardinals in this year's draft.
Yeah, I really like Derek Brown, and I'm almost positive Derek Brown's going to go in that 5 to 10 range for draft.
I mean, there's a lot of things are happening in terms of uniform and logo changes, so I kind of sparked an idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see all these teams for no apparent reason. Maybe they're just because they're in quarantine. Maybe it was going to happen anyways. But all these teams are just coming out with new jerseys, new logos, all this new stuff, just out of nowhere. So what do you guys think are the best jerseys and the worst jerseys in like major sports? Well, we can start out with the NFL, obviously, because that's kind of what we've been talking about.
So if we're talking like base jersey, right? Like just the average like home or away, I think Seattle's home is one of the cleanest jerseys.
I agree with you on that. I really like Seattle's jersey. It's just like so crisp, and it's something that really looks really nice.
Oh, you go, Brent. I was just going to give me 1 sec. I'm just pulling up something quick. But continue, Brent. I'm sorry.
My favorite like NFL jersey, besides like your basic home or away, is going to be the Patriots alternate jersey, which is kind of also their throwback to the Boston Patriots, but the red with the white and the blue on the shoulders. Oh my God. So best jersey. I'm a little biased there though.
LOL.
I've always really liked the Ravens home jerseys, the purple, and their color rush is nice too.
Yeah. So like for me, I'm alwaess kind of like a less is more sort of guy. So like for me, like I really like, but well, on the note of Baltimore, I love Baltimore's all black uniforms. Those are just really really cool to me. They're simple and it just looks cool. I think the Raiders have really cool uniform. Like I just love the classic silver and black. Another uniform, and I kind of hate to say it in both regards, but like San Francisco's alternates that they had this year, or like their historical away jerseys with like the. You guys know which ones I'm talking about, right? Where like the word or the numbers were like puffed out because of the black outline and stuff.
Yeah.
Those uniforms are so clean, and I hate to admit it because I do not like the Niners being an LA fan, but those are clean uniforms. I love those historic uniforms, and also the best uniform in NFL, maybe in all of sports, is the LA Chargers. Their powder blue uniforms. They are so clean and so great, and I love them.
I really like the Colts, both the Colts jersey. The Cobalt is blue, and then I like their all-white jerseys as well.
I do like the Colts all-white too.
Like Brendan was saying, I like the Seahawks. I kind of, like a lot of people didn't like the Seahawks color rush jerseys, just the neon green, whatever. But I actually really, really liked them. So, I don't know. I thought they were just really cool to see. And then the Broncos color rush jerseys, they're kind of like almost reminded me of their throwback jerseys. They're
with the that's where they wear the all orange and like the old logo with the navy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love those uniforms. I wish they would go back to that logo and wear that all the time. That is so right? Oh my gosh, I can't even I love that uniform. Love it so much. Oh, that got me excited because I totally forgot about those uniforms. I always forgot how clean they were, and I love them.
I always get excited when I see that we have a Thursday night game because it brings up the possibility of them wearing.
Right.
On the topic of color rush jerseys, the Saints color rush jerseys with the metallic gold numbers.
Yeah.
I really want a Taysom Hill jersey in that because I saw it and it made me jealous.
Yeah, no, I like the Saints color rush. I heard a lot of criticism about it for some reason. It looks like a Power Ranger, but I love it. I love the Saints color rush.
I do as well.
What jerseys do you guys just absolutely hate? Like, I do not like the Cleveland Browns jerseys.
Yeah, I was gonna say them too.
And I don't like the Bumblebee Steelers jersey. I just hated those as well.
Yeah, those are disgusting.
I don't like the all yellow Packers jerseys personally.
I love the yellow Packers jerseys, and I have several of the yellow Packers jerseys.
I strongly dislike the Bears, like where they wear the orange jerseys. I think those are gross. Just
I
like
don't like orange jerseys either. It's just a weird
like
color.
Orange. I just think orange is like some teams can pull it off. Like I was saying with Denver, Chicago is not one of those teams. They cannot pull off an all orange uniform. I hate the Jets uniforms. I think they're disgusting. I don't like the Falcons new uniforms. I think there's too much going on. The fonts are too big. The gradient jerseys are not good.
I have a question for y'all. Did you guys see the Bears alternate for this year where the stripes are just kind of different?
I like those ones. I actually really enjoyed those ones.
I do too. I almost bought a Khalil Mack jersey once with that.
I would have done that in a heartbeat. I quite enjoy those uniforms.
Well, we can't all be rich like you, Noah.
Well, I can't necessarily be spending money on jerseys right now. Times are tough.
Just gotta wait till you get your Corona money, though.
I know. I'm patiently waiting for my stimulus check from El Presidente. So whenever that comes in, that's gonna help.
In theory, next week, but
right in theory, but we'll see in practice if it happens. But
right.
Other than
the
that,
media
though,
was
for all unrelated. If with the stimulus package check, if your parents claimed you on a dependent on your taxes last year, you will not be receiving the stimulus check.
Which my mom did not. So let's go.
Gosh, I wish I had your mom. That'd be so nice to get that extra money. I'd waste it on everything.
Yeah. Other than that, though, there's not really a whole lot of NFL uniforms where I dislike. I am praying and hoping to God that the Rams' new uniforms aren't terrible, but they're probably gonna be. So it do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, I'm waiting. The Packers said they're gonna come out with a new throwback alternate, so I'm hyped for that.
Yeah, I really like the Packers uniform. Just like again, I'm also like a less is more kind of guy. So like with the Packers are just a classic. I don't know. And I think the throwback should be pretty decent too. It should be fun.
I'm I'm hyped for the navy blue jerseys.
Are are they bringing those back or did they never leave
Oh,
or?
they said they're gonna do a new alternate, and they're saying it's gonna be a throwback one, and they say they want to go back to the roots. And in the past, they've done navy blue as their throwback because it used to be their colors, navy blue and
Yeah,
yellow.
no, I'm
So I'm thinking
looking.
it's gonna be a new one.
Yeah, I'm looking at some leaks and stuff, and there's no like leaks on it, but apparently they're some people say it's gonna look a lot like the Michigan uniforms. Apparently, like they're gonna have that navy with the yellow, and so that should be awesome.
Might not hate that.
I might be buying a new jersey.
I think the Lions should go back to their old, like, derpy lion-looking logo.
Every NFL team should just go back to their throwbacks.
But have you seen the derpy lion?
The Derpy Lion.
Yeah, look up Lions throwback logos.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about. Let's see. I do like the Lions logo though. Right now.
Yeah, I do too.
It was just something I was randomly thinking about because we were talking about throwbacks.
I do kind of like that. It probably look nice in like a hat or something. Huh.
Speaking of looking nice on the hats, have you guys seen the new Colt secondary logo that they came out with yesterday?
Yes, I love it.
I really like the Colts' new logo.
I do too.
I think it's so good. Really good. Clever.
But besides NFL jerseys, I think probably some of the best jerseys are actually NBA city jerseys.
Yes, NBA City jerseys are really nice. There's a few every year where I don't really vibe with, but there's usually
Right.
every year like the city jerseys are pretty dang nice.
I think my favorite would probably be the Miami black with the pink and blue outlines, just because that's such a like good look, I think.
Oh yeah, the Vice ones are just awesome every single year.
And then what other ones do it? I like the I like certain Timberwolves.
Timberwolves have not had a bad city jersey yet.
That's true. That's very true. I like their purple. I like the purple wording, and I like how these teams they're changing things. Like, I don't really like Warriors. They kind of like, I don't know. I just don't like the way they have the bridge there and stuff. But I like how teams are just kind of keeping them simple. Like the Celtics, like just changing the colors to, it just makes it look clean, and I really like that.
Right. I was gonna say, well,
One of my favorite NBA jerseys was I think they were the city edition for the Pelicans, the white Nola with the different colors.
Those ones. I like Denver's like rainbow, like with the rainbow thing going across. I really like those ones. Obviously, I'm a little biased by like the Lakers one too. Just they've had some good ones in the past. So, and then like in terms of, are we just like talking? Yeah, I'm just like looking through all the city jerseys. Toronto always has some really nice ones too. Toronto always has clean jerseys. Toronto's uniforms in general are just super duper nice.
Yeah, some that got a bunch of like pushback was the Mavs jersey, but I really like the Mavs jerseys.
Yeah, I'm not exact. I don't think it deserves as much hate as people. It's not my favorite, but like it doesn't deserve as much hate as people says it does.
So if you look at just regular NFL or NBA jerseys, what do you think the best one would be?
Ooh, let me think about this one.
Atlanta Hawks.
No. Ooh, that's tough. Give me a second.
I'm sticking with my guns. Atlanta's away.
Okay, so here are some contenders. I'm just looking at each team and just remember what the uniform looks like. Okay, Lakers uniform's really nice. I like the Celtics. I love the Bulls. But again, I'm also like a less is more kind of guy, so I like it like simple. Oh man. Celtics have the best home uniforms. Like their green ones. Oh, don't even get me started.
That would be away.
Oh, are we talking about home uniforms?
No, because if you said that their green ones, they're home uniforms, but their green ones would be their away uniforms.
Oh, well, their home
NBA
ones are nice too because I mean, just the white with the green, it's nice. But I love their green uniforms. Those are probably the cleanest uniforms in the NBA.
Yeah, probably.
I also
But
really like Chicago's, but
I don't know. I really like the Hawks jerseys too, though. I guess.
let me look
The
at the
Hawks-
Hawks.
The Hawks jerseys are just like, I would not expect those colors to be together, but the way they do them makes me. It's very like kind of techy to me. Like
See,
makes me
just
think of
don't
technology.
I don't like that. I think there's just too much going on. Like the colors do mesh well. I will agree with that. I just can't. I can't. I don't like those ones.
For vintage jerseys, what would you say your favorite vintage jersey would be? Mine would probably be like Raptors or somebody like that.
I was gonna say Toronto.
Utah
The
Jazz.
Raptors have the coolest, whatever, throwback
Vintage.
jerseys.
Yep.
False.
I'm gonna
Orlando.
go with the Rockets with their really derpy jerseys that
Oh,
nobody
I
liked
do-
when they were there, but I like them now.
Yeah, I do know. I do like those ones a lot. I love like the Vancouver Grizzlies throwbacks, ones that Memphis wears. I like the Charlotte Hornets ones, like with the purple with like the like green and blue lines going through it. Oh, if I had to think of the best throwback, the Jazz ones really. Ooh, I do like the Magic's pinstripe ones. I don't think I like the Orlando Magic pinstripe ones. Those ones are so nice. I love those ones.
And then Noah, you're big in soccer and MLS. Those jersey kits that come out, I see the Twitter pictures. Some of those are absolutely fire. What do you think of some of those?
Yes. Okay. So first and foremost, this isn't even a biased decision. I swear. Minnesota United. So they release new uniforms every year. They just alternate between home and away. This year, MLS released jerseys for their 25-year anniversary. Minnesota United's is the best jersey. Holy crap, their jerseys are so clean. So their first, like their away one, is like an all white one. Like it's white with the black Target logo. It has like some like stuff going on in the background of like wind drift or whatever. Really cool. But the Minnesota United home jerseys are so unbelievably great. So they're gray and they have, so this is just kind of a throwback to when they were in the minor leagues. They had a big like loon wing going across, like going through the jersey. They brought that back and it looks absolutely unbelievably nice. I always hate to admit it, but Atlanta United always knows how to put good uniforms on the pitch. Their home ones with the classic 5 stripes are good. Last year they had they did a peach jersey, which was nice. This year they released a gold, like a white with a gold lettering and stuff and a logo. Super duper nice. DC United always has really good uniforms. Trying to see who would have the worst uniforms. I hate to say it, Brendan, but I mean Chicago. Well, so their newest home one isn't terrible. It's just I just look at that logo and I just want to vomit. Their new logo's so bad.
Their new logo's so bad, especially since they had a way cooler one before.
Oh god,
they took it away.
I don't know why they changed. Like they wanted to change it for like oh, you know, we're moving back in the city and blah blah blah. I don't know. Some terrible. Oh god. To be honest, like I'm trying to think of like some like uniforms I absolutely hate. I don't like Utah's new home jerseys, but like they have like this weird like pattern on it, but it's supposed to represent the altitude of like Utah. So I mean, I vibe with it, but I'm not like a fan of it. The worst uniform in MLS right now is probably Houston Dynamo's new uniform. It's like black, but it has like weird orange like squiggly. It doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't look very good, to be honest. I'm not a fan of Dallas's uniforms. They just have weird stripes going through, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Yeah. Cincinnati's new uniforms, those are probably the worst in the league. They have like different color variations going on. So like it's split down the middle. One's like light blue, the other's like navy. And it doesn't, there's like not a hint of navy in the FC Cincinnati's logo. So for me, it doesn't really make any sense. It just looks terrible and weird. But when you're the worst team in the league, that's what you deserve. You deserve terrible uniforms. I think.
Oof.
I mean, sorry to throw shade at FC Cincinnati. This is only their second year in the league, but you look good, feel good, play good, and Cincinnati does not do that. His audio must have got cut out. What are your guys' favorite MLS? Have you guys seen the MLS uniforms at all?
Pretty much only the ones you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, just because those are the best ones.
Okay, yeah. So, can you hear me again?
Yes, I can
Yep.
hear you now.
Okay. So why do all these? So I'm looking at all these jerseys for the 2020. Why do so many of them have stripes?
So the three stripes, it's paying homage to their first ever MLS season. A lot of their
Okay.
jerseys had like those weird stripes going through it. So it's paying homage to that because they've always like been with like Adidas for their uniforms and stuff. So like it's just
Right.
paying homage to that. And some people don't like it. I personally like it. I don't mind it. Again, you know, I'm just happy MLS has made it 25 years, and any way you can just kind of throw it back like that's really cool. I don't mind the stripes. Some people hate them. Sometimes for some of the uniforms, it's maybe a little too much. For Minnesota's, it's not. It ties in perfectly, but I don't mind them. Yeah.
Do we want to touch on NHL jerseys?
We definitely got to touch on NHL jerseys because
Because
NHL's got some nice ones. That's for sure.
so if we're talking base jerseys here, the first one that comes to mind very easily is Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice.
Those are just so good. My favorite NHL jersey of all time would be the Chicago's now alternate, their Winter Classic from 2018. Maybe it was 19.
Chicago does not have a bad jersey. I hate the Blackhawks, but I love their classic red jersey. Like they're just their home jerseys. They fit the mold of less is more for me, and they're just so historic and great. But that's just my opinion. But again, I don't want to give Chicago too much credit because
but they're like classic black and white jerseys.
Oh yeah,
Have you
no,
seen
those ones are really nice too.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. Those ones are really nice too. Like so Chicago doesn't really have a bad uniform.
Mm-mm.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Worst uniform in the league. That was a hard one.
That is kind of hard because it's like I'm looking at like I'm just looking at like I think correct like I mean I don't know if you agree with me, Brad, but I think since NHL went to Adidas, the uniforms have been really nice.
I mean, you're not wrong. Part of me feels like I want to say Nashville's. If
I
I had to pick one.
See, I was thinking that just because of the colors, but the colors work so well. That's why I'm kind of like, you know.
Yeah, I pick them.
I know, like, throwback wise. I've always not really cared for the Avs jerseys, Avalanche.
Yeah,
But,
there's a lot going on. There's like a lot going on. In that case, I'll say the same thing for the Anaheim Ducks. I've never been a big fan of their uniforms. I guess I don't know.
Some really good throwbacks ones are the Coyotes throwbacks.
Oh,
The really ugly coyote.
yeah, but it's so love those. What about? Well, I do like. So one uniform that I saw this year was, I believe, it's Colorado's alternative, where they have like the mountain.
Oh yeah, that was for just this year. Also,
okay.
the Kings one from that Stadium Series game.
Okay, yeah, I really liked. Or let me. Is it that one? Yeah, here I'm just gonna look up Avalanche uniforms quick because there's like an alternate one that I think I like. It may have been the one from this year, but
the one that they wore in the one in the Stadium Series against the Kings. I was like, I can't. I hate that I like this so much.
Right.
Because it's just one of those.
That's not the one I'm talking about, but I do like those ones. I'm talking about their third jersey. It's like the navy with like the burgundy sleeves. It's got like the triangle with the Colorado logo C in the middle.
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. That's
Yeah.
their like alternate. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say those alternates I really really enjoy. Again, I hate the Avs, but I can't diss a bad uniform when I see it. Which Canadian team has the best jerseys? Because I have my answer.
Team best jersey.
Because I have my answer easily. I just want to know what you think. Get some love from Canadian listeners.
Best Canadian team. Winnipeg.
Really, I think Montreal.
See, I love Montreal, but Winnipeg's is just super clean.
TBH, Canada's kind of packing with the jerseys. I really like the Canucks. The Maple Leafs ones are so crisp. Love them. So clean and simple. I enjoy them.
The Canucks' old jerseys were absolutely terrible.
They are,
like black
but they
and
make
orange.
awesome throwbacks now. Like if they weren't for a throwback night, it's actually like kind of cool. That it's weird. It's weird. It's like you were saying with like the Houston Rockets. Like no one liked them then, but like now if they wear them now, it's like, hey, that's kind of cool.
Oh geez, I just scrolled past throwback Islanders jersey.
Oh, I know the Islanders old logo was really like the logo they had before the one that like so they had the logo they have now they used in the old days, and then they had like a weird rough patch where they had a bad logo.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's actually, the funny thing is like the caption on the picture is the top 10 worst NHL jerseys of all time.
Speaking of Islanders, I actually love their alternate jerseys with like just the NY and the hockey stick. They're like blue. The sleeves have like a orange and white stripe, and it's like white on the shoulders. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I just saw a picture of it, and I was like, oh, that's right. Those are one of my favorite uniforms in the NHL.
Not a huge fan of the Blues jerseys, but that could also just be bias.
Well, no, like you're saying, let me look up their uniforms again because I think there's like a lot going on there. If I'm thinking of them correctly, yeah, I'm not a fan either. There's a lot going on in like the sleeves or like in the shoulder. I don't really get the two stripes at the bottom. It just I don't know. It seems weird. Now their throwback ones, like with the just the logo and like the yellow outline on it, those are nice. I like those ones a lot.
See, I don't like those ones either.
Really? Yeah, it might be a little bit of bias. I like those third ones.
I'm just not a huge fan of like blues and golds being mixed together.
It depends on how. I guess it just depends. Like I like it in that regard, but
Ottawa's throwback jerseys though go on the like good side of things.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's technically their alternate. The Big O.
Yeah, I like those ones. Dang, NHL really just packing with the fire uniforms.
I mean, yeah. It's the old Detroit jerseys with like the weird D look weird, but
I like those ones.
You guys want to talk about MLB jerseys? Because baseball has some clean jerseys.
Baseball is simple and to the point, and I love everything about it.
I'm looking at all the jerseys here for 2020, and there's not one that I hate, actually.
No, baseball always has just been like simple to the point. And they're going with Nike this year, so they're looking a little extra clean this year.
Really like all?
Yeah, they're going Nike this year. So like I said, they're just looking a little extra clean this year. If I had to pick my least favorite, like if I had to, I mean, it's so tough. They're all just so simple, and I love it. Like
I think I'd go with Brewers.
No, I love the Brewers. I love that they're returning the throwbacks. Personally, what is the worst uniform in the league? Oh my lord. Why am I struggling with this so much? There's got like usually in every sports league there's like one uniform where it's kind of crappy, but I mean, I'm just trying to think of some alternate ones that aren't very good, I guess. Cuz at this point it's kind of what I just got to think of, but like, maybe MLB is just packing with the uniforms. Good for them.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, like there's not one where I'm just like, oh, that is horrendous. Like, that is terrible.
I feel like they all kind of follow, like, their own, like, crisp theme. Right. And with them keeping that consistent as, like, a league-wide thing, it makes none of them look bad.
Right. I guess if I had to pick one, like, maybe the Diamondbacks uniforms, just... I don't really...
But I love the Diamondbacks uniforms.
I don't know. If I had to, like, I'm not a big fan of the Marlins uniforms, I guess, and it sucks because I like the Marlins, but like their uniforms aren't that great. I don't really like the new logo, to be honest. But I guess that's just me. But I see one that I don't really like the Indians red ones. Those ones are kind of, I don't know. I just don't really like red and navy. I don't know. Like, I don't know, like between red and orange, I'm just not the biggest. I guess it just depends, I guess. I guess the Indians just don't really pull it off that well. That's a bummer. Ooh, I love those new Pittsburgh black ones. Those ones are, oh my God, those are nice. Holy crap, those are nice uniforms. Wow, I like those a lot. Those are lovely.
I still can't escape Tom Brady Bucks uniforms. I'm like, I've only like
I may or
scrolled
may
down
not buy
twice.
Tom Bucks thing, Brandon, just for you.
Oh.
It is your birthday.
Oh,
Do not want this.
Gonna say I feel like if we got Brendan a Tom Brady Bucks jersey, I feel like he would feel obliged to wear it if we all just chipped in and got him one.
I think you're right.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I hate you guys.
Yeah, I mean, because honestly, because like, let's see. So an NFL jersey is like what, $100 bucks?
You can get them on NFL Shop right now for $80. I already have it pulled up.
Oh, so okay, so if we get it for $80, if we get Ethan involved in this too, we split it 4 ways. That's $20 a person.
That's pretty good.
Oh,
Brendan about to be wearing that clean Tom Brady Bucks jersey.
I love those new Bucks uniforms. I just love that they went back to the old look. I enjoy it. I was really upset that they didn't do the creamsicle. I'm still waiting for a creamsicle logo or a creamsicle uniform, but it is what it is. Beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
I like the uniform. I just don't like Tom Brady in that uniform.
We'll talk about it outside the pod. But moving on here, it is time for a great segment here. And this segment, can you guys hear me? Yep. This segment is called Fix the Jags.
Ooh, that's quite the task.
Ooh, a whole segment just for the Jags?
So you're going to come in with a Jag and then leave with the rolls?
What?
You're so funny. All right, so Fix the Jags. So how are we going to do this? Well, let's look at last season. It was an interesting season, right? So we went 6-10. We went last in our division. We went to Minshew Mania. Nick Foles kind of didn't work out for us. We traded away most of our team. It was just a rough year. Rough year, I'd say. So what have we done since then? Well, as I said, we traded away Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye, Calais Campbell, Nick Foles. We signed an lineman, kind of help out that line with our missing quarterback of Gardner Minshew, if we have him. We signed Tyler Eifert. I mean, he's a decent tight end, right? He's okay. So we're working a little bit. We've picked up a few backup defensive players, maybe pushing starter if we don't get them. But the big things is we tagged Ngakwe, and we have 12 picks in this year's draft. And those 12 picks could change our team from being horrible to being pretty damn decent. So depending on the draft, what we're liking and what we're looking at, we have 2 options here. We could either keep Yannick Ngakwe, or we can trade him and get even more picks to help our team out. So what are we going to do in the draft? We're going to address our defense because we lost all those pieces. We need to get them back somehow. Possibly address quarterback situation depending on if somebody falls or what will happen there. I know if you go back to our mock draft, Tua actually falls to the Jags. So make sure you look at that. And then address wide receiver. We need a good wide receiver. Just get him. Or, if it doesn't work out, maybe give Jameis or Cam Newton a shot. I don't think Gardner Minshew is necessarily the starting quarterback level that we want if we want to make the playoffs. And as you know, in Frick's a franchise, that's our ultimate goal, is to make the playoff. So if you look at the 2020 season, all the opponents have been announced, just not when the game is. So if you look at the events, we play the Steelers at home. We lose. Big Ben's just going to be too much. But we play the Bears at home. Beating those Bears.
Oh, so we're beating Nick Foles. Okay.
We're saying we didn't need you. You didn't help us.
Okay.
So we're not going to help you. We're going to beat the Lions, obviously, because they're kind of the Lions. We're going to beat our friends, the Browns. The Browns are going to be, well, everybody hopes that they're going to be good. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think they're going to be a little better than last year, but I don't think they're going to be nothing special. So that's a dub. We're going to beat the Dolphins, maybe.
Oh.
No, the Dolphins really depend on who they pick up in the draft. I know they stockpiled with Byron Jones and all that in the offseason here. So it really depends on that draft if we can beat the Dolphins. But I believe in my optimistic mind that we will. We're going to beat the Titans. Beat the Texans once.
Wow.
Once. So we're going to lose to Lamar. Yep. We're going to lose
6-1, 7-1 at home. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
We're going to be good. That that Khan family, we're going to do great.
Okay.
AEW, we're going to have those stars there too. Just elevate the game. Lose to the Packers. We're going to beat the Vikings in a tight game. Going to beat the Bengals because, as you know, they have a lot of problems other than just Joe Burrow or Chase Young. And if they trade back, then they won't have either. I just think that our team could potentially be just enough to beat them. We're going to lose to the Chargers. Obviously, the Chargers are a really good team if they get their quarterback situation figured out. Lose to the Titans. They're just going to be too much for us. Lose to the Texans at home. And then we're going to lose to the Colts at home.
Hey, that's 9-7. That puts them in the playoff hunt.
Exactly. So, making the playoffs, that's what we need. So, we're either going to the playoffs or we're firing Doug Marrone. Either way, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm not necessarily attached to Doug Marrone all that much. So, that's how we fix our friends at Jacksonville.
Huh.
I hope Tony and Shad Khan were listening to this.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Gonna be interesting. But now, for the moment,
Big money.
every week, we do the best thing here. We spin to win. So as you can see, all our teams that we've done have been taken out. It's time, once again, to spin to see who Ben will have to fix next week. So we're spinning to see who Ben will fix next week. Here we go.
Are the Bears
Get
still
ready
on there?
for it.
The Bears are still on there, right?
Yes.
Oh, I want the Bears so bad.
It looks, Ben.
Oh, no.
Dang, one of the Patriots. But I'll do the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oof. That Cowboy situation is interesting. Are you going to pay Dak?
You have to tune in next episode next week to figure out.
Oh, man. Alrighty. Well, so Ben next week, fixing the Cowboys. Alright. And there's something coming up here the day this drops that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
The NHL playoffs?
No. Brendan's quarantine birthday.
420 in a couple of days, guys.
Hey, that's right. 6 days away. It'll be 4 days away from then. So, Brendan, what would you like to do for your birthday on this said podcast?
Not get a Tom Brady Bucks jersey.
That is out of the...
That's
realm
already
of
locked
possibility.
in.
In this theoretical situation, Brendan, would you not want a red one or a white one more?
I don't know what there is to do for a quarantine birthday on only audio. Wait, I got an idea. For one time and one time only, we can bring back Brendan's Sport of the Week.
Hey.
Yay! All right, Brendan, Sport of the Week. Here we go.
All right. Have y'all ever played 2K Sports?
Yes.
I have.
Have y'all ever played 2K Sports NBA?
Yes. Maybe.
There is a big pro league for it, right?
Oh.
It's so big that they tell you about it while you're playing the game yourself.
Right. All right, this is what we're talking about.
So if you don't know out there, folks, the NBA video game is made by 2K, and you can go in, play as your favorite basketball team, do whatever. That's not what the Pro League focuses on. Pro League focuses on you building your own like NBA player, and you make them as you want them and how you would want them to play. The biggest the one that's commonly used is like a wing style player that's like 7'1", just so that way you can do dumb things with alley-oops, because alley-oops are the meta. Fun facts. But all that aside, with the NBA season, on standstill, the NBA hosted their own like players tournament of 2K. And do you know who won that?
Devin Booker.
My favorite player in the NBA, Devin Booker.
You know who he beat?
Who? I forgot.
DeAndre Ayton.
Oh,
teammate.
dang. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I watched that whole tournament. It was fun.
I kind of figured Devin Booker was going to win just because, like, Devin Booker's a huge gamer. Like, the minute that the NBA went down, like, suspended the season, Devin Booker was already streaming Call of Duty stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, is Devin Booker in this tournament? If yes, ain't nobody got a chance.
And I think with the because Madden might be doing a tournament as well. I think the player to watch out there is probably Juju Smith-Schuster, because Juju's he's like the Devin Booker of the NFL, I guess.
When it comes to the video games and stuff, yeah.
Do you think there could be more tournaments and such like that coming with maybe more well-known players? Like, could you see because I know Kevin Durant was probably the biggest name in tournament. He got knocked out in the first round. But could you see a Curry, a LeBron, just think of the best player in your mind, Giannis. Just do you see them in the tournament? Because it looks like in these things that the NBA is doing, it's kind of they're having these mid to upper tier people in it. Like Trae Young has been in everything. But they don't really have the top guys like your LeBron or your Giannis or your James Harden or your Russell Westbrook or things like that. So do you think that they would join something, or do you think that this is going to be a more oriented towards mid-level to mid to upper players?
Well, you mentioned Devin Booker, Trae Young. One thing about them is they're young players. So I'm not dissing LeBron James at all, but LeBron James might not be as interested in playing a 2K tournament as somebody like Trae Young,
True.
That's a very good point you make up there.
Or like Juju. Juju's another really young player where these 20-something players have been playing. They grew up playing 2K, so they already like playing the game and stuff.
That's very true, very true. Brendan, would you...
Oh, I was just saying, I know MLS is doing, so they have EMLS, so they're having one MLS player play with their EMLS player, so it's a dual tournament, so it's pretty cool.
I think the NBA or MLB is doing something like that with the show right now as well. So it's just kind of, getting sports somehow, I guess, just in different forms. But Brendan, would you participate in one of these tournaments?
I would personally not, because I am not that great at any of these sports video games. If we could go back in the day to NHL 09, back when I was a kid, maybe I could participate then, in specifically NHL 09, one of the best sports video games of all time. You can see back in the archives when we talk about ranking sports video games. Besides the point, though, no. I am too trash at the video games.
What about the rest of you guys? Would the rest of you guys join a video game competition?
If I had to join one, it would be FIFA. But other than that, I just don't know if I'm good enough to be able to hang. Madden, I would get destroyed. 2K, I would definitely. I'm not that good at 2K, so I would get wrecked in 2K.
I mean, I think it's fun. I'd do Madden, but that's the only one I know how to play.
I'd get destroyed in any of it. I've played FIFA, I've played the show, I've played NHL, I've played Madden, I've played 2K. The only one that I think I'd beat any competition would probably be the WWE games. But that's just because, it doesn't really change that much from year to year. Would you like to do anything else on this episode before we end this fantabulous week we're having?
I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners, because they the real homies.
Nah, that's not very nice. Very nice there. Such a good guy you are. And that's why, to end the show, we would like to tell you happy birthday this Thursday. So make sure you listen to this week's episode dropping on Thursday for you to hear us tell you happy birthday.
I will.
I know you will.
I listened to the last week's.
Oh, all right. Well, are we ready? We ready to end it?
Unless anybody else have anything, let's end it.
Alrighty. Well, for the SighSquadPodcast, this has been another fantastic episode. I'm Duncan.
I'm Noah.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Brendan.
Yay.
Yay. And this has been another episode of the SighSquadPodcast. We'll see you next week, folks.
Happy birthday.
Yay. Happy birthday.
Brandon, yeah.
OneHappyBirthday.com